Welcome to Lift-Off With Energizing Results, the podcast that can help you become a better partner in your family and a self-propelled leader with inner certainty in your business. Now, here's your host, Uwe Dockhorn.
Welcome to Lift-Off With Energizing Results. Let me start with an invitation for you before we dive in. This is a safe and neutral space here. The more open and honest you answer the questions that will come up, the more effective this will be for you. Sound good? Okay, here we go. Today I'm very excited to introduce you to Carlos Salum. How are you doing, Carlos? And where are you hanging out right now?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure having you on the show. So
Yeah.
Carlos Salum is the founder of Salum International Resources, a leadership performance strategy consultancy in Charlotte, as we just heard. He advises leaders and professional athletes to seek breakthrough results. Carlos is the author of The Glass is Full and Half and From Fog to Focus. I think your mission to design your leadership strategy to create breakthrough achievements and a powerful legacy is just remarkable. Again, very thankful I can talk to you today, Carlos.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So let's dive right in. So who's your ideal client? We have some ideas. But what's the biggest challenge they face?
Well, because typically they're a leader whose values are in transition, or a professional athlete that needs to unblock something, usually mental, emotional, and they're seeking a breakthrough. The biggest challenge is to design their future. So sometimes they don't have a moonshot, they don't have a compelling vision that will pull them forward. They therefore don't have the clarity to design the stepping stones and the continuity to follow them. And also they might not be getting the feedback that they need. The worst case scenario is when they have magical thinking, instead of going to a system.
Well, I love systems, but of course, sometimes magical thinking, could be helpful in some instances, but then it's the implementation, right?
Yes, I agree. What I would basically shift in the language for them is rather than magical thinking, from going from one situation to the other and there is a gap, is to create that compelling vision. So desire is the engine. Fascination, something that is totally engrossing, because especially when we are in training, when we're just walking the stepping stones, the training aspect requires continuity, there is effort. So we need to know why we're doing this and create like a game in our head to be able to enjoy, to crave it the next day.
Yeah, I understand. So we're all humans, hopefully. So what are the common mistakes, they make when trying to solve these challenges?
I would say mainly two. One is limited perspectives. Again, is thinking that recipes and just a few tips will make up for the training system, and that things can happen very quickly. So the other aspect is trying to do it alone when they could very easily have support from a variety of people that mean well. But if it's professional help, is really trusting someone who can mentor them and not only deliver a service, but provide partnership, even friendship towards the goal. And then not try to basically create dependency. As coaches in sports, we train for autonomy. We train for self-regulation of the athlete. So that's an important aspect of going together towards the goal.
Yeah, but of course, while the similarities are kind of like obvious, so kind of like from going between the C-suite and these athletes to one extent, but it's interesting kind of like, so it's always about having someone around you to support you in that regard, but also being the leader in that regard? Because I think that's slightly different from. So, what are your insights around that? What's the deeper motivation, or are there any differences between the two?
Well, in a way, and because I've experienced now for over 25 years the privilege of coaching Swiss private bankers, is that I had to earn the right to lead. They understand the sports metaphor. It's very compelling. It's very attractive. But then to say, okay, what about me? Or what about the team? No? How would this work? I can unpack all the components because, as you said, we're human. So the body is the tool, and improving our thinking is part of the process. But to lead, I had to really show that I could be on top of the mountain pointing to the stepping stones and that they will be safe. No? And then, yes, we walk together. No? Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Well, thank you for sharing that. So what is one valuable free action that our audience can implement that will help with these challenges?
Well, I would suggest that if we really want to change something, we can refine our focus or find focus with more clarity, imagining the ideal, and then using creative thinking tools. One simple one, and as a disciple of Dr. Eduardo Bono, I would suggest that instead of thinking in categories of good or bad, we can think what are the plus, minus, and interesting aspects of the situation. So I imagine the ideal, then as I'm trying to implement steps, I can start to evaluate what deserves more weight. So I can really put my emphasis there, what needs to be avoided, and what strengths can I maximize? Because there are also things that I could develop or learn to implement my plan better. And one interesting, exercise that puts all this together is future casting, is writing a letter from the future. So let's imagine I already got it. So what happened? No? What strengths did I maximize? What did I avoid? What are the abilities that I could find that could be refined? No?
So it sounds like it's a guided vision into the future that already kind of like it's happened, and then it's like you feel like, well, okay, so I'm already on that path there. So it's kind of like the motivation is there and everything. Would you agree?
Yes, that's why I call it future design, because it is a design. And if I design it first on paper, I can minimize risk to some degree and also can find how to play with experiments along the way. But getting feedback is also important. So I can think, who can help me? When could I get it? And one interesting twist is, how can the world be better because I get this? Do I have resonance? Do I have significance with this achievement?
Well, thank you for sharing that. So I want to give you also the platform to share where people can find you, but also what is one valuable free resource that you can direct people to that will help with that, but also in a broader sense.
Thank you. Well, my website is saluminternational.com, and I'm writing a newsletter. Every week I publish something about breakthrough. And it's called The Glass is Full and a Half, like the title of my first book. So I think the LinkedIn newsletter could be interesting because if someone is curious about the nuances or applications, we can connect. But I try to put enough meat into each article, so it's very actionable. I want to make it useful.
Wonderful. We all love useful tips and advice. Yeah. Thank you for that. Of course, we put everything in the show notes so folks can check it out. So, Carlos, what's the one question I should have asked you that would be of great value to our audience?
There is a question that I ask my clients, never mind the age or what they do. What makes you great? Because I think that very few people have an opportunity to really think in those terms. And in my case, it facilitates the conversation tremendously. So my answer is my curiosity, because I was born with this curiosity to seek what's beneath. I love symbols. I love metaphors. I'm a writer. I've written plays. I'm writing a screenplay. So it's how ideas come alive, no? And I always want to find the essence of why people do things, about events, and how things work.
Well, thank you for sharing. If you ask me, I would answer my capability for analysis and finding the things that others are missing.
Yes.
So it's part of what I do, doing this for over 17,000 sessions, systemic coaching, and it just enables me to do what I do.
Yes, and I appreciate your focus, you know, a very holistic approach to bringing the whole of life together, no?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
Well, it's work and life, right? So
Exactly.
love it, love it. All right, this already brings me to my final question for today. It's a personal one. When was the last time you experienced goosebumps with your family, and why?
It's a very strong memory because it was when Pietro Fittipaldi got to drive as a pilot in Formula One. I had been hired in 3 years before, in 2017, to help him win the World Championship in Formula 3.5 Renault, because otherwise his main sponsor would not give him the money to continue the path to Formula One. But then in 2018, he broke both of his legs in an LMP2 accident in Spa. And his determination, thanks to our training, was so great that he was driving 6 months later IndyCar. Then came the call, and I was with him having coffee that day, when Gunther Steiner tells him the contract is in the mail. I want you to be the test driver and the reserve driver for Haas. And then that day in Bahrain, in 2020, Romain Grosjean has a brutal accident. He almost died, fiery, and Gunther didn't hesitate. He called Pietro because of his loyalty, dedication, and although he had not driven for 1 year because we were in the middle of COVID, and he drove magnificently and the next race. So the goosebumps were because that was breakthrough realized. That's something we did together, and it's someone's dream that is very rare to achieve, to sit in a car and compete, And I was very happy for him.
Well, beautiful story. Well, thank you, Carlos, for sharing this beautiful goosebumps moment. And also thank you for our conversation. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I appreciate very much the knowledge and insights you share with us today.
Thank you for the opportunity. And congratulations on all your good work.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you for listening. And as always, energizing results for you and your loved ones.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend on Apple Podcast, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more great information at uwedockhorn.com. Welcome to Lift-Off with Energizing Results, the podcast that can help you become a better partner in your family and a self-propelled leader with inner certainty in your business. Now, here's your host, Uwe Dockhorn.